So Nisha, do you have a favourite Dolly Parton song?
Yeah, 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's a good job we don't have to do those anymore, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Go YouTube. There are a lot of words and one or two somewhat vulgar hand gestures you can use to describe Dolly Parton, but I would argue that the word metal isn't one of those words. Something that hasn't stopped Dolly Parton rocking the shit out of sellout crowds expecting exactly that kind of music anyway.
Okay, so let's start with what are we talking about today?
Specifically, we will be talking about the Glastonbury 2014 festival, which Dolly Parton, was a part of. But before that, Nisha, have you been to any festivals?
Yeah, I went to Download Festival about 10 years ago and then Leeds Festival a couple of years ago now.
Okay, now I need to know, at Download, who was headlining?
It was Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, that's so 2010s, it almost hurts.
And it was around the time they did the Christmas #1 as well.
Okay, if you don't know what we're talking about, just Google Rage Against the Machine Christmas #1. It's a fantastic story that I've made another article about. I think today I found out, turned it into a video. Go watch that. After this one.
But I went there originally to see 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, of course it was. I could have guessed. Where were you going to see 30 Seconds to Mars?
Yeah, I was a big fangirl then.
So you can say you're not going to see 30 Seconds, you're going to see Jared Leto. Just admit it. You didn't go to see the band, you went to see him.
They also did a sign-in that day as well, and I queued up for about 2 hours, drunk, waiting to get a little poster signed, and I touched his hair.
Oh.
I don't think I was supposed to, but it was when he had a bright pink mohawk.
Oh, yeah. See, that's a strong look that, I think he did pull off. But I still don't like 30 Seconds to fucking Mars. Anyway, I think the festival I've been to, and this is probably going to say a lot about me, it's the only one I've ever been to, it was Slam Dunk.
Yeah.
And all the next people were like, Karl, what? Yeah, I like pop punk. And the reason that's the only festival I've ever been to, and I've not been to one since, is because I just had one of those days where it was just crushing disappointment after crushing disappointment, where it was good. I saw a couple of bands that I liked. I saw Hit the Lights and stuff like that, but I was really excited to see Yellow Card, because they were going to, I forget what's the name of the album, it's the one that Ocean's Avenue comes from.
Yeah.
They were going to play all of that album in its entirety from start to finish. And I queued up for like an hour and a half. I missed other bands I wanted to see, so I get a good, space to watch it. Sound problems. Didn't play. And I think played 3 songs. And at the end of it, they apologised, fair enough, and then said, but if you do want to see us play these songs, we're going on tour later this year, come to that tour. I was like, no, fuck you. I want to see it now. I know it was issues with sound, but fucking hell, come on. And I went, okay, so fine. Panic at the Disco playing later.
Nice.
I'll go watch some of their songs. No, they didn't play anything from their first album. I think they played But It's Better If You Do, and that was it. And then Brendan Urie was like, I want to play my new album. It's like, but I don't want to see your new album, and no one here wants to see your new album. I want to hear the old shit. And I thought, it's okay. Enter Shikari down in, I think it was in a car park, underground. It's like, yeah, that'd be sick. It was a DJ set, and they didn't play Sorry You're Not a Winner. Like, no! And then I went to a nightclub, and got really drunk, and that was all right.
So after all that, the nightclub was probably the best part.
Yeah. But the reason I want to go with it, I'm tempted. Did you camp when you went to yours?
No, and that's something I don't like doing. I hate camping, so I just go for a day, and I always do the thing where I look at the 3 days that the festival's on and pick the best days.
Just do it, pick your favourite.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to go to a festival where you camp, just because of a story I got told by a mate of mine where it says, yeah, we all waited till everyone had gone. They were literally cleaning away stuff. And what one of our friends did is he grabbed his tent, because if people don't know about festivals, people just leave shit behind. People will just leave their entire tent.
A mess.
And something else they leave behind is beer. Because if you buy a crate of beer, sneak it in, and you've got 2 beers left, fuck it, I'm not taking 2 beers back. They're in the mud and dirty and lukewarm. But if 1,000 people think that, that's 2,000 beers. So what this guy did is he got his tent and just dragged it behind him with the door open and just went past every abandoned campsite, just picked up the beer and just chucked it all in the tent. By the time he got back to the car, he had 500 beers and they filled up the entire boot of the car.
Jesus.
And I'm tempted to do that because that's a pretty good idea, isn't it?
I can see that as something you would do.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. YouTube pays well, but I'd still fucking do that for free beer for the next 6 months. But anyway, let's get back to Glastonbury 2014 specifically.
So yeah, Glastonbury 2014.
Yes.
Dolly Parton played to a sellout crowd?
Yeah, to a sellout and capacity crowd. And according to the organiser of Glastonbury, that year 100,000 people watched Dolly Parton play, which at the time was the largest crowd they'd ever seen at the event. And most pertinent to today's topic, was larger than the crowd that Metallica attracted. Who I think Metallica were the headliners that year, and Dolly Parton was just on the card. But no, she got more people than Metallica to watch her show. And then according to critics and fans after the fact. Like, she put on a better show. Like, she brought the fucking house down with her show. Yeah. And she's like, I think at the time was a 68-year-old woman, like playing like a little fiddle and a rhinestone saxophone. And she was putting on a better, more hype show than Metallica. It's like, what? It's so good.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
I fucking love that. It says, I don't know if it says more about how good Dolly Parton is or just how bad Metallica were. Because Metallica, by all accounts, weren't bad. Yeah. They put on a really, really good show. Like, they're really good performers and musicians, and like they get crowds hype.
Yeah.
But Dolly Parton just topped it. Because she's Dolly Parton. And like, there's nothing more to say other than fucking well played to her.
Yeah.
And I love Dolly Parton so much. So
living the dream, I think. At 68, well, she'll be 75 soon, I think.
Yeah.
Because she wants to do the...
You told me about this.
For her birthday next year, she wants to do another cover on Playboy.
I can see it. I'll be like, she's 75 years old. I put a recent picture of Dolly Parton behind me. I would. No shame. Absolutely no shame whatsoever. Like, if Dolly Parton said, hey, are you that guy off YouTube? I'm like, yes. Immediately, no question in my mind. It's fucking Dolly Parton. And I love Dolly Parton, like, not even for her music, which is amazing, but just for her attitude. Like, she's 75 years old and she's had an absolute shit ton of plastic surgery. Like, she got the builders in. Like, she had workmen in, like, on those, like, scaffolding set up on her tits as they're going, like, around her face. And she's like, yeah, they did. I don't care. Of course I am. I'm 75 years old and look like this. Of course I've had plastic surgery, but it makes me feel better.
She's owning it.
She does. And I love the fact that like one of her nicknames for herself is the Backwoods Barbie, in reference to, one, her diminutive stature, and two, the fact she's got giant plastic tits. It's like, you go, Dolly Parton. Own it. Confidence is what people respect. And I respect the damn hell out of her.
So yeah, Dolly Parton played a sellout show.
Pretty much, yeah. To a capacity like crowd of 100,000 people.
Which is pretty amazing. Did she do anything spectacular during the show?
Well, yeah, she did. Obviously, like, she played some of the classics, which, like, you know, yeah, of course people are going to queue up to see those. It's Dolly fucking Parton playing like her biggest hits. Everyone knows Jolene. Everyone knows 9 to 5. She played them all. But she also like did a few like, you know, impromptu things. I think she made up a song. Actually wrote a song that day, inspired by, I shit you not, the mud of Glastonbury. Because of how muddy it is. Yeah. The song is like fittingly called Mud. That she got the crowd to sing along to, a clip of which we'll presumably play now. And then something else she did that is like a staple of her shows, but like absolutely blew my fucking mind when I watched it like live on TV at home because I was bored, is she plays yakety sax on a saxophone, but not just any saxophone, a saxophone that's like half the size of a normal one, for her, covered in rhinestones.
Of course it is.
And she plays yakety sax on it. It's like, I didn't know she could do that. Because yeah, like I found out later, Dolly Parton, multi-instrumentalist. She can play the fiddle, a clip of which we'll play now. She can play the saxophone and a bunch of other instruments, but what really got me is she goes, yeah, I love that song. It's Benny Hill, isn't it? To the crowd. And I was like, yeah, getting like a crowd getting mad hype over the Benny Hill theme. She goes, I can play it backwards. Do you want to see it? And the crowd's like, yeah, we want to see Benny Hill theme backwards. She just turns around and plays it with her back. It's like, oh, Dolly, yes.
Yeah, because you're kind of expecting her to play the actual song in reverse. No, she just turns around.
Oh, so good. And I was like, I'm not sure if she played this song. I don't recall the set in its entirety, but there's a cover that she does a lot that I fucking love, and it's a cover of a song called Rocky Top.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I'm a complex person. I like a bit of, you know, country and western every now and again, like, you know, and Dolly Parton included. And there's this great cover of, like, Rocky Top she does. And I remember it because I fell down one of those like, YouTube rabbit holes.
Yeah.
You know the ones?
Yeah.
And I ended up watching a commencement speech for like a university in like Tennessee. Thinking, why? Because Dolly Parton was like the keynote speaker. And I was like, I want to see this. I want to know like what Dolly Parton said at a commencement speech. And she comes out in like the full fucking gear. Like, she got like the mortarboard, she got the ropes. Yeah. She comes out and she sung that song. And I went, that's a really good song. I'm going to look up what that is. Oh, Rocky Top. There's loads of covers of it online. But yeah, it's... I just love it. I fucking love Dolly Parton. Wait, what were we talking about again?
Cover songs.
Oh, you know what? We'll save that conversation for the end because that could go on for a while.
All right. So I'm assuming Metallica might have been a little bit annoyed at the fact Dolly Parton basically stole their crowd. Yeah,
like she upstaged Metallica at a gig they were supposed to be headlining, and Metallica did have thoughts about this, but they were all positive because, like, you know, interviewers asked them prior to the fact because obviously when you see, like, you know, a poster that says, like, Glastonbury 2014, Metallica, Dolly Parton. That's kind of strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a lot of interviewers interviewing Metallica, like, commented on the fact that's so strange. Like, oh, what do you think of like, sharing a stage with Dolly Parton? Like, presumably thinking that these these metal gods would have something to say about sharing the stage with this like 5'2", like 68-year-old country western singer. And no, every member of Metallica's like, we fucking love Dolly Parton. We can't wait to see her play. And I think a quote from them is, we all bow at the altar of Dolly. And as if that's not adorable enough, like during those clips you've just seen of like, Dolly bringing the house down, Metallica were just backstage watching it getting equally as hype. Because they watched it like, she's fucking awesome. Dolly brings it. And that reminds me of this great takedown I saw from Rob Zombie. And I kind of wish Lucas was here because he'd have a lot to say about this. And it's about Babymetal.
Oh, I've definitely heard the band, 'cause I know Josh is a big fan.
Yeah, like Babymetal, people don't know, they're just like schoolgirls who sing like, Japanese idol music set to heavy metal.
Yeah.
And like, a lot of people write them off as a gimmick, but no, like, they're a really fucking solid band. And Lucas, who's occasionally on the channel, has seen them perform live, so it's one of the best shows I've ever seen, because they play with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which again is a story for another day. And I think Rob Zombie posted a picture with them on Instagram, and like a fan's like, they're not real metal. And Rob Zombie's like, no, fuck you. This is the future of metal. Like, these girls put on one of the best shows I've ever seen, and are keeping up with the same like metal legends you're saying they don't deserve to stand alongside. They are fucking amazing. And I love that. I love that, like, just solidarity.
Yeah.
Between musicians of like, different genres. It's great.
It's like, speaking of different like genres, if you're mentioning Spotify.
Yes.
My playlist of my liked songs is a big variety. Like, most people probably just listen to one sort of genre,
yes.
like rock or pop or something. My playlist ranges from like R&B to rock to metal to punk to dance, and I'll be listening to, I think it's like Trivium 1 minute.
Good band.
And then next minute it will be something like Lady Gaga.
Well, that's good. And do you know what that does? That makes you a more rounded, interesting person. Because I can talk about this. I'd like to end on because do you know you get those breakdowns from Spotify of like, here's what you listened to this year.
Yeah.
I shit you not, my top artist for 2019 was Carly Rae Jepsen.
Of course.
I'm not kidding.
Carly Bae.
Carly Bae Jepsen was my top artist for 2019. It's like fucking too right. So we briefly mentioned covers earlier, because we're obviously talking about music and like, a juxtaposition of musical genres you wouldn't expect. So in that vein, are there any covers that you particularly like that just completely upend the genre of the original and just like, make it sound different, but like, to your ears, better?
Yeah, because I think like, I like a lot of the pop goes punk sort of
those albums
songs.
are good.
Yeah. I can't remember the artist names,
Okay.
but the song is called Lean On. I'm sure there'll be a clip on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really bad with the names. Do you want to sing it?
No.
Okay.
I can't sing. I sing a lot in the car on my own. I'm just like, oh God, Nisha, you sound so awful.
No, you don't need it. Where was the confidence from earlier? What would Dolly Parton say? She'd say, get it, girl. Sing.
I can't sing.
Sing. I'm not going to sing.
No. But anyway.
I'm embarrassed enough.
I know it's called Lean On.
Okay.
And there is a rock cover of that, and I prefer it to the original version. It sounds so much better. Because what I do is if I find a song I really like, I kind of binge listen to it for like 5 months, and I did that to that cover. It was so good.
And you can't remember who sung it?
No.
It's okay. Well, presumably there'll be like a name of them below or a clip. And I think that's like one of the biggest compliments you can pay a musician in regards to a cover. It's like it's so different that I judge it to be its own song.
Yeah.
And I have big feelings about this because I remember it's Weezer, I think, did a cover of Africa, which I got tagged in a lot because like, Karl, you love the song Africa. Surely you love this cover. And I don't, because it sounds too similar to the original. Yeah. At which point, why don't I just listen to the original? It's so much fucking better. Like, if you're going to take a song and cover it, make it your own. Don't try and sound like the original artist, because then why don't I just listen to the original artist?
Because I quite like another one I thought of was the Alien Ant Farm, who do Smooth Criminal. Yeah. That's quite a popular one.
It is, yes, and it's a really famous one as well.
Yeah, because I really like that one, because that one, it sounds really similar, but it still has its own sort of style.
Yeah, because it's in the style of the band, not Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And there are covers and presumably there are covers of Smooth Criminal out there that try and emulate that. And it's like, well, you're not going to, because how are you ever going to do it better than Michael Jackson did? Why don't you make it your own, put your own spin on it, and then not have to be in the horrible position of being compared to Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
It's like, no one wants to compete with that guy, so why would you set yourself up for that kind of failure?
Oh, I just thought of something I used to do in Premiere. I used to bring songs in, and I'd used to speed them up slightly.
Nisha's Nightcore remixes!
Some of the songs I used to put in speed up sounded really good faster.
Yeah, that's what Nightcore is.
It's so good.
So I'm going to call out my sister now, because I know she occasionally watches these videos, and I think she even tries to like go to school, like, yeah, my brother's on YouTube, and it's that sort of thing. So, like, Jamie, I'm going to call you out right now, because a couple of years ago, I was asked to burn a CD for my sister of Nightcore songs, because she was getting really into her Nightcore. And if people don't know what Nightcore is super fucking embarrassing. Some of it's good. I like dance music every now and again, but I would still describe it as cringe lord music, because as good as it is, if you are blasting that in your car, you're gonna get some funny fucking looks. It's man, but fucking Nisha on the Nightcore remixes.
When I was, I think it was 13 and under, I used to listen to a lot of really I call it chavvy music.
Yeah, well, that's close to Nightcore, like DJ Cammy.
Oh yeah, DJ Rankin as well.
DJ Rankin, oh man, their cover of like Poison. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah.
When I found out it was an Alice Cooper song, I'm like, no, it's not. It's a DJ Rankin song.
That was when we used to go on MSN, and we used to go on Windows. I think it was like Media Player or something, and play. I put CDs in the computer.
Rip it.
Bring up them screensavers you get them when you're playing music.
I miss those. I want that to come back. I'm presuming like there is like an app or something that does that, but I would kill for the big TV I've got in my front room.
Yeah.
I would kill to just have one of those equalizers up when I'm playing music at house parties and stuff. They're so sick. I used to miss that shit, man. Like the one that's just like the guy's head. It's the top of a guy's head, and you got like the. I always put on the one that was the bars.
Yeah, the bar one.
Yeah, that's my favourite one. Or the water one.
Oh,
where it's like water, it's like a watercolour splashing on a screen, and obviously the music in pop is like, I used to put Dragon Force. I'm like, oh my god!
To probably put a year on that, I remember listening to "Toxic" by Britney Spears a lot on my computer. That was like the first song on the, now that's what I call music, whatever.
Do you know it made it to 100?
Yeah, I think they've gone over, haven't they?
So bad.
But yeah, Britney Spears' "Toxic" was the first one on there. And it just reminds me of the equalizer screen.
Oh man, it's so fucking. I missed that age, because I remember I had a 128 meg MP3 player. Obviously, it held 20 songs. But I remember I had a friend who was a bit good with computers, and he told me we can make the songs smaller. So how do you make the song smaller? I went, you lower this value here, and obviously I didn't know it was lowering the quality. Yeah. So I had those, 128 kilobytes? Is as low as it could go. Yeah. I used to have that, but it's like DJ Rankin songs. It's like, oh no, so embarrassing. But that's who I am. And it made me the person I am today, and that person hosts a YouTube show where I get to talk about it. So I guess it made me a good person. Yeah.